Hi there, everybody. All right. Hopefully you all can see me okay. Let's see if we can get some chats going, find out if you can hear me. All right. Can you hear me? Hi there, everybody. Here we are. All right. So can you hear me okay? How's everybody doing? All right, here we are. Okay, well, if you can hear me, please let me know. We'll get started in a couple minutes. All right, well, okay, well, if you can hear me, please let me know. We'll get started in a couple minutes. And I'm going to turn my volume down so there is no feedback. Okay. Hi, everybody. So my name is Tracy Alexic with Radiant Center, and this is brand new to me, working with Vimeo live streaming. So any feedback is much appreciated. I thought it would be really fun to come here, do a free 20-minute practice, and just kind of share what I love doing, what has been helping me through this crazy COVID kind of world pandemic that we've all been experiencing. And it's kind of like a global retreat situation. It's bringing up a lot of anxiety, a lot of worry, a lot of fear, and we're having to be home more with ourselves. And it's helping us to improve our relationship with ourselves and our family and reinvestigate things that we love. So I'm really excited. I have the next 9 days off, and I thought it would be a joy to kickstart it with offering a yoga class. So if you have any requests, go ahead and put that out in the chat line so I can see what you would like to do today. Otherwise, you're going to need a yoga mat, a blanket, or a bolster. So I'm going to go ahead and come on over here, and just going to kind of show you my setup. It's always nice to start seated on a blanket. That way, you can lift the hips just a little higher than the knees. And when the knees can drop, then you're going to feel a lot more comfort through the hips as well as the low back. If this doesn't feel comfortable in your knees, modify. In fact, you can even do the practice from a chair. You've just got to know your own body well enough to be able to do that. So modify as you would like, just so that you can participate and be in this energy. We're moving into the weekend, and we want to do this with an open heart. We want to do this with an open mind and a good mood. This is going to take us into the Thanksgiving season to be more grateful, to be more compassionate. So let's go ahead and move the body, move any stuck energy, any stuck emotions that may be expressing themselves, sometimes even as physical discomfort. That can be more mental and emotional. This is my yoga assistant. His name is Jiva. So he's usually lurking around when I meditate and do yoga. So your pets are invited as well. All right, so getting started. Okay, so getting started. Let's go ahead and get started by practicing some pranayama, which is breath control. So conscious breathing. You know, we think about the breath being automatic, but we can bring mindfulness into our breathing so we can trip the nervous system to relax, to let go of that stress response of fight or flight. We can come back into ourselves and just feel so much more calm and focused and mentally organized. So we're going to do this by practicing the Ujjayi Pranayama. Ujjayi Pranayama is a pretty simple technique, especially when you hear another name for it, which is called oceanic breathing. So we're going to breathe in and out through the nose. And when you breathe out through the nose, it's almost as though you're trying to fog up the glass in front of you. So you're going to inhale and exhale. This long exhale. Empty yourself out. Let's do that 3 more times. When you inhale, think about lifting up through the spine, all the way up through the crown of the head, lengthening through the sides of the torso. As you exhale, relax, get grounded, comfortable in your body. 1 more round. Very, very nice. Let's go ahead and inhale, reaching up through the arms, interlace the fingers, and pressing the arms all the way up just so that we can extend through the spine. Take a little side stretch. If this is too much on your neck and shoulders, then you can always try either bending the elbows out to the sides, or you can just let the arms come apart like this. And it's just more graceful, more spacious. So take any variation that you like, but we're going to take it over to the side on the exhale. Inhale back to center. And exhale over to the opposite side. On the next exhale, release the arms and take a twist to the right. Just let your arms fall where they naturally do. So the right hand can either come down to the floor behind you, or it can come to a block behind you if there's a little space. And then the left hand is going to come to the outside of the right thigh. If that's too much, if you have any limitations through the belly or through the low spine, then just keep your hand in a modified version of this twist on the same side. It's just a very light twist. Try not to lean too far back, but stay more upright. Bring the awareness down to the legs and go ahead and unlock the tension through the outer hips. And you'll notice that your jaw probably relaxed too. So relax the face, relax the legs, the hips, and just feel how the breath is able to take you a little deeper around. The shoulder blades slide down the back so that the head can turn into the twist. And then using that same Ujjayi breathing. Inhale, lifting the arms up. Turning the navel through center as you exhale, twisting over to the left. Taking any modifications that you may need to so that your body is comfortable here. And just remember the main areas where you may feel like you're locking or gripping. See if you can relax there a little bit more. Bring some more spaciousness into your practice. And then we're going to inhale and lift all the way up through the crown of the head. Exhale the shoulder blades down the back so there's space around the neck so the head can turn into the twist. Invite the oceanic breathing just to help cleanse any of that residual mental tension. Anytime you feel like sighing, something surfaces, open the mouth and sigh. Inhale the arms all the way back up. Turning the navel forward, and as you exhale, we're going to bring the hands down to the knees, and we're going to move through Sufi circles. If you're sitting on a blanket, you're going to want to lean forward and remove that from underneath you. And as we move through Sufi circles, and think about the whirling dervishes, think about the way that they spin meditatively around and around for hours and days, going into a trance. So we're going to circle around, and we're going to stretch the connective tissue of the hips, the muscles that attach to the low back, the lumbar spine, that travel through the insides of the hip bones and attach to the inner thighs. And then the connective tissue of the hips attaches into the diaphragm. So when you think about it, the deeper you breathe, you're massaging the hips, the upper part of the hips. So taking your deep Ujjayi breaths, and we're going to circle the ribs around, Sufi circles, like a whirling dervish. Try to circle the ribs. My cat is like, how do I stay on her when she's doing this? As you're circling the ribs around, think about circling the ribs around the pelvic bowl. Next time you inhale coming forward, you're going to reverse the circles all the way around. Now, pets love yoga energy. So whenever you meditate or do yoga, your pets will probably come over and just want to be in the space. So all are welcome in the yogi space. Good, one more time. And then we're going to lean forward, or, gosh, my cat. We're going to lean forward, or whichever way you want to come out of this. We're going to come onto our hands and knees. So you have your blanket nearby. This is for your knees. Okay, here, go over here. Okay, so we're going to come onto our hands and knees, and you want to splay the fingers so that you're pressing firmly through the fingers, through the whole palm of the hand, so there's no tension on the wrists. The top of the feet are pressing down. Unless you have some balance issues going on today, then you can curl the toes under. Otherwise, we want to stretch the front of the ankles. As we move through cat-cow, inhale and lift the tailbone and the crown of the head, but keep the abdominal muscles slightly toned to protect the low back, and knit the shoulder blades together to help open the chest and take you a little deeper. As you exhale, rounding the spine and effortlessly drop the head. One more time. Last time, we back bend. As you exhale, you're going to press onto the forearms and bring the sit bones all the way back towards the heels, and melt your way down into child's pose. The heart melts towards the ground and the forehead drops towards the floor. Now you can bring your forehead directly against the floor or the blanket, or you can stack your hands and make a forehead pillow. Inhale into the back body, to the back of the lungs, the lower lungs, massaging the kidneys. And exhale and sigh. Pulling yourself up on the inhale, curling the toes under and pressing back into downward facing dog. And pedaling in place to warm the back of the legs, remembering to pull the shoulders away from the neck so the head can drop and we're not adding to any tension. This is a relaxing pose. It may not feel like it in the beginning, but we don't want to create added tension. Very, very good. Stepping the feet about halfway. And now we just hang in the fold. This is called Uttanasana, so it's standing forward fold. So you can bend the knees deeply and rest the belly onto the thighs. And then grab each elbow with the opposite hand, the head hanging so the whole spine is getting a nice stretch. As you inhale, release the arms and roll slowly all the way up. Reaching up through the arms, looking up. As you exhale, sweep the arms down, drop the head, and roll back into our forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, pressing through the feet, rising up. And exhale, folding down. Inhale. And exhale, Samastiti. Bring the hands to the heart center. And just noticing how you feel here. So hopefully you feel so much more open through the breath, through the body. So we're going to take this now into a wide-legged stance. And when you look down, you want to see that your feet are running parallel to one another, or your toes can be slightly angled in. We don't want the toes turned out because we're going to be folding forward. And if we turn the toes out, then when we fold forward, the knees are going to turn in. And we don't want to twist the knees. So you just want to be very intentional in your movements here to stay safe and to have a beautiful experience. So with the feet that are running parallel to one another, hands can come to the hips. As you hold onto the hips, inhale and lift up through the chest. And as you exhale, pull the hips evenly back and dive into the forward fold. Now, if you have any bursitis through the outer hips, it might take you a little bit more time to warm up here. So you can bend the knees and straighten the legs. And we're going to come in and out a couple times. If you have high blood pressure, then you should really modify. If you have high blood pressure, keep the hands down on the ground and stay here. Don't let the head drop below the heart. So this is going to be safer for you. Otherwise, hands come to the hips, put a bend into the knees, and inhale up with a flat back. Finding your back bend again, and as you exhale, refold, pull those hips back evenly. Dive in maybe a little deeper, maybe trying to keep the legs more straight. Feel that hamstring stretch. As far as placement of the hands goes, you might want to bring the hands in line with the feet. And then as you come into your forward fold, shoulder blades slide onto the back and then pull yourself into the space between the legs. Now with the shoulder blades on the back, we can maintain a nice long neck. Again, preventing any sort of unnecessary tension or injury. We never want to pull from the neck, which is what happens if your shoulders are shrugging up towards the ears. So think about spaciousness. Think about that oceanic breath, keeping you calm and relaxed as you explore the space in the fold. Now we're going to come out, soft bend of the knees, hands to the hips. Inhale, come up with a flat back. Again, another back bend. And as you exhale, third and final round into the fold. And then once you're here, we're going to interlace the fingers behind the back, straightening the arms, and wherever your arms fall to, you can enjoy the shoulder and the hip opener.
There's a gentle hugging in towards midline. So the inner thigh muscles, the quadricep muscles, they're active. We're lifting through the arches of the feet. We're really feeling as though we're lengthening the strength up the legs to the pelvic floor, and then letting all the prana, the energy, trickle down the spine to illuminate the brain. Take another deep breath. A big sigh. Releasing the arms back to the low back and then apart. Pressing the hands, stretching them forward. And then splaying the fingers and then pressing the weight back into the legs and opening the hamstrings. The inhale lifts the upper back up, almost like a balloon filling with helium, and then walking the hands in line with the hips, with the feet. Inhale all the way back up. Good. And then heel toe the feet back together. And just take a moment here, because that was a lot of folding and I don't want you to get dizzy. But forward folds are very powerful because they teach us to get out of our mindset, out of our looping, where we see our world in the same way each and every day. And therefore, we have the same reactions each and every day. If we always see things the same, we always make the same choices. So doing forward folds is a way of expanding the concepts of our reality and seeing something familiar and new and interesting ways. They're challenging to us and therefore therapeutic for us. Let's go ahead and come into one of our final postures, because we're starting to run out of time, and I want to make sure that we get this one in. So you're going to take your blanket, and it's going to be a square fold. And you're just going to fold it into kind of a jelly roll. Lay it down the end of your mat. Now, if you have a bolster, use that instead. Nice, long, lengthy yoga prop here. And then you're going to come to sit facing away from it so that you feel it touching the low back. Hold it in place. Knees are bent to start. And then we're going to lift up and out of the low back, leaning all the way back and over the yoga prop, taking your time. Because it's a little edgy, so explore it with curiosity. You can lift the head and lengthen the neck. And I like the blanket, or at least the folding I did of the blanket, because it presses right into the occipital ridge. And so that's a nice release for the back of the skull. Some of those interesting, tender muscular points. They get a nice reflexology massage. Now you're going to walk the feet a little closer towards you. And as you do the feet, lift the low back, lengthen the tailbone out, and then lower the buttocks back to the floor. Lifting the right leg and lengthen, maybe point and flex the foot all the way down. And then lengthen the left leg, point and flex all the way down. Your feet can flop out to the side. If you want something more edgy than this, of course, you can keep the feet together and open the knees apart. Supta Baddha Konasana, always an option. And then we're going to take the arms and we're going to protract the arms reaching up. So we're lifting the head of the arm bone out and away from the shoulder socket. And then go ahead and retract the head of the arm bones deep into the shoulder socket. And feel how the shoulder blades are squeezing around the blanket or bolster. And then we open the arms out to the side. Now the breath is so accessible in a back bend. Rasa stimulating the kidneys and the adrenals. The meridian lines that are going up to those originate at the outer edge of the pinky toes. So we're nourishing the kidneys and the adrenals. There's a really beautiful squeezing effect around those organs and glands so that when we come out, they're going to get replenished with prana and fresh blood flow. This is really great if you've been experiencing insomnia or a lot of stress. This is going to help to nourish you and to rebalance you. Inhale into the front of the body and exhale against the back of the body. Now, I like to hang out here anywhere from a minute to 5 minutes. We've been here for about a minute. And I want to stay on time and respect your time. So let's go ahead and put a bend back into the knees so we can roll over to a fetal position and press our way out. Moving the prop off to the side. And then rolling back down. Shoulder blades snuggle under the back, opening the feet wide, wider than the hips. And you're just going to take a windshield wiping pose. Inhale the knees to center. Exhale the knees, dropping them to one side. Inhale to center. Exhale, drop the knees to the opposite side. You can turn your head away from the knees. Moving with your breathing. Once you come back to center, straighten the legs all the way out in front of you. Just bring the hands to the low belly, beneath the navel. You can make the yoni mudra, thumbs together, index fingers come to touch, and the hands lay flat on the back, the elbows to the floor. And allow your mantra here to be, thank you. Repeating those words silently to yourself with every inhale and every exhale. Thank you. Thank you. And feel the energy of your heart chakra expand with gratitude, with compassion, with unconditional love and forgiveness. Expand this higher frequency energy. Steep yourself in this energy, in this space. And from here, we can officially end our practice. So putting a bend into the knees and rolling to one side and coming to sit. You can stay where you are, but I'm going to come closer to you. It truly was a pleasure guiding your practice. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful night, a wonderful weekend, a happy Thanksgiving, and namaste. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all the beings be happy and free.